Hey guys, I am going to explain to you the Quarter 1 IRA contract. I know I've talked about it a little bit, but since we hit the ground running with Unwind, I haven't been able to really go through it. So I thought this would be a good day to do that. So if you want to get an A on this project, you need to read 1,000 or more pages. I know some of you have asked, well, what if I'm a couple of pages short? I'll talk to you on an as-needed basis, but the goal is to go above and beyond. And so, I've had people that, read 1,000, or 1,100 or more. But I will talk to you on an as-needed basis. The novels that you choose need to be 8th grade appropriate. I know we have Diary of a Wimpy Kid in the library, but those kinds of books are just not challenging enough for an 8th grade student. So let's talk about the logs. You need to log an average of every 50 pages. This does not count Unwind. And what I mean by that is I would rather you, if you have chapters, use chapters. Determine how many chapters will get you close to 50. Some of your logs might be 46 pages and another log might be 52 pages. I don't care as long as there's an average of about 50 pages per. I just don't want you to stop. I think that's silly to stop in the middle of a chapter. So round up, I guess, is what I want you to do. But because we are letting Unwind be considered, and you already have like 16 logs with Unwind, you will need an additional 13 logs for your other 2-ish books that you get if you're going for the 1,000 pages. If you're not, we'll talk about that in a minute. So that would be an additional 13 on top of the 16 you've already turned in. Now, if you didn't turn in Unwind, chances are you're not going for an A, so I'm not going to worry about that. Now let's look at quality level. Notice it says quality level will determine your grade, letter grade, regardless of page number. Repeat that to yourself because that is very important. If you turn in poorly done, you can tell I was trying not to use a certain word, poorly done logs, understand that you may not get an A, even though you claim or did read 1,000 pages. So you got to be careful with that. Some of you turned in some very subpar summer reading assignments, and because of that, in the future, we're going to change up how we do that, because I had to give you 10 points when I was pretty certain you probably didn't read it. And so that will not happen for the IRA. So let's look at B. B just drops down 250 pages. The book is the same, the book choice, I should say. The logs, you need at least 15 logs, which means an additional 8 logs if you are counting Unwind. So you can count Unwind as part of that number, but not completely. Again, you need to have a very strong attention to detail, depth of understanding, and use of basic grammar. And your log needs to show that you read all of it. This is obviously including in the A level too. And you don't just, I know some of you will read the beginning or the end. I don't understand that because it's more interesting and makes the book much more easier to read when you just read it, but some of you will do that. So you need to show that you are reading the entire section and not just part of it. Up here I'd written IRA reflection must be completed carefully. Really it means the same at the letter B, at the grade B level. I just forgot to put that in. And an IRA reflection is something you will do right before you turn in the IRA that basically is really proof and evidence. You're going to tell me all of the things that you did and all of the things that you maybe accomplished during this quarter to help you be a better reader, and I will use that to assess your grade as well. So a C level, you can see it drops considerably, 500 pages. If you read and turned in the logs for Unwind, you're only about 165 pages away. So you could find a 200-page book. You can find a shorter book if you want to, but you can go 175-ish to 200-page book. You will only need to do 3 more logs if you turned in the unwind logs on time. If you didn't, you need to figure this out. If you did not turn in the logs for unwind on time, you can't count it, so you're going to have to read 500 pages, and you will have to do the 10 or more logs. And I say 10 or more because some of you just can't read 50 pages and be able to do a really good log. So you are obviously always able to do more. So if you feel more comfortable at 25 or 30 pages, by all means, do that. That doesn't bother me at all. Just remember that writing your logs, again, it's kind of like when we did, when Mrs. Beechler was talking about active reading. We write comments off to the side to kind of as our proof that we're reading. Well, that's why I want you to do logs, so it's proof to me that you're reading and you're reading effectively. Now, if you're going for the D range, I am hoping that you're not, but if you are and you've already read Unwind and turned in logs on time, then you're done. But because we don't turn this in until October, I certainly hope you would strive to try to add another, 200 pages to this. Actually, not even, to try to go for the C range. Your logs must show that you've read the entire section. You must show a basic attention to detail, some understanding and use of basic grammar. And then, we'll go from there. If you want half credit, because a 0 is going to kill your grade. Half of 40, let's say the IRA is worth 40, it'll be worth anywhere between 35 and 50 points. It's about 20% of your grade. So it depends on how many points I have for that 9 weeks. If it's, let's say, 40 points, 20 is better than 0. 20 points is not good, but it's better than 0. As if you have some unwind logs somewhere and they're partially done, that will count to give you at least 50% for this assignment. So let's look at benchmarks. I haven't really talked about benchmarks, but that's kind of like a log check. Your benchmark number 1, if you turned in your logs on time, or at least by September 8th, you will, you met your first benchmark, and you can count that. You can count unwind as part of the number of pages. Benchmark number 2, I need to put a date, and I will do that as soon as possible. I'm going to create a Canvas assignment. It might already be done by the time you're watching this. That will ask you some questions based on the amount of pages you're going to be reading in order to tell me what goal you have to meet by the next benchmark. There'll be 2 more before October, so my guess is there will be one in about 2 weeks and the other one about 2 weeks after that, or, ish. Let's talk about the due date. Friday, October 6th, this has been on the front of our Canvas page for a few weeks now. I do what is called a grace period. A grace period means the due date is Friday, October 6th. That means that if you turn it in Tuesday, October 10th, it's late, but I'm not going to count any deductions for being late. It's your grace period. It is still late, but I'm not going to count anything off. However, if you don't turn it in on Tuesday, it is late, and it will be deducted 50%, regardless of excuses. Too many of you wait until the night of to get it all done, and I'm not talking about the night of like October 5th. I'm talking about, let's wait until Monday, October 9th to finish this up. Your goal is to finish it by October 6th. But if something happens, or maybe you were you had a C and you were going for a B and you're just not quite there yet, you have the weekend to try to get to the B range. But I am not kidding when I say I will not accept any excuses, because technically the assignment was due on Friday. So now if you have some major event that happens before Friday, October 6th, I will talk to you on an as-needed basis, but know that that's how I handle grace periods. So hopefully you understood that. If not, rewind this and listen to it again. If you have any questions, you need to send me a message in Canvas and I will address. I may not answer you specifically, but I will compile any questions and I will answer them all in like one email that I send to everybody. Okay? When you are finished listening to this, I am going to have that Canvas assignment done because that will be the next thing that you do on Tuesday while I'm not, because I'm in the building, but I am in my data meeting. That will have to be turned in by the end of the period. Okay? All right. Thanks, guys.